Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today's video we're making a chicken noodle-ish soup. Say chicken noodle-ish because obviously I'm not using noodles, I'm using a shell pasta. This recipe is absolutely delicious. It tastes so nice and it's wonderful on a nice cold day. So I'm going to be the gift that keeps on giving in this video today. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to make the soup, I'm going to show you how to make the most amazing chicken stock, and also how to break a chicken down. You don't need many ingredients for this recipe, so there's no point going through them all. I'll just show you them as I put them in. So first job, we're going to portion the chicken. So the only thing we're interested in really is the legs and the breast. So we're going to remove the legs off the bird first. Really simple, you just get yourself a really sharp knife. You just want to run down the side where the leg meets the bird, and you'll see a little cavity. So just cut the skin right the way down. Bit graphic this part, but then all you do is just pull out till you see the bone snap through. Now that's the bone where you want to put your knife the other side of. Just literally cut either side of that bone, and then the leg will literally come straight off. It really is as simple as that. So there's your chicken leg. You've got the drumstick and the thigh all together in one go. So now down the centre of the bird, obviously you're going to feel the spine. So you want to do, just cut down either side of the spine, just want to follow the bone going right the way down. And that will then separate the breast from the rest of the bird. I mean, if you wanted to, you absolutely could just, buy some chicken breast and some thighs from the shop, but the reason I'm doing this is because I want to make my own stock, so I'm going to need the carcass from the chicken to make that. So once you've cut those either side, like I say, you'll end up with 2 breasts and 2 legs. Now I'm not going to use the skin. You can use the skin if you want to when you cook these in the oven a little bit later on. I just prefer it without because it goes nice and dry without it then. Just makes it a bit easier to shred in my opinion. So once you've battled with this and tried to get all the way through, it really is simple. I'll just make it look a lot harder than what it is. So then you're left over with the most important piece for the stock, and this is where you've got the chicken carcass. So in a really big pot, we're going to use probably about 1.5 litres of water here for this stock. I've got an onion, some celery and some carrots. So the first thing you want to do for the stock is obviously put in your chicken carcass. Now the best thing we're using the carcass, obviously all the flavour comes out of the bones and it's absolutely delicious. Next up we're going to add an onion, so we're just going to chop this into quarters. Don't worry about the skins, leave everything on, it all imparts flavour to it, and we're going to pass it through a sieve later to get rid of all the bits and bobs. So then you're just going to get yourself 2 or 3 carrots. Like I say, it doesn't really matter how you cut them, don't need to top and tail them or anything, like I say, because it's just in there just to make the flavour. So in we go with our 3rd carrot. And then the same, I've got 3 sticks of celery here. We're just going to roughly chop those as well. This is going to make the most delicious stock ever. This stock will literally stick it in the freezer. You can use it in so many different recipes. A couple of cloves of garlic. Again, I'm going to leave the skins on. All you want to do is just crush them. That's obviously going to open them up so that it releases the flavour. Then I've got some flat leaf parsley. You can go through it all if you want, just to put the stalks and things in, but it's just as good with a whole lot in. Just get a handful of that in. I'm going to go with a couple of dried bay leaves. Now you can use fresh ones if you can get hold of them. I couldn't, so obviously I'll just use dried ones. And then I want about probably a handful of black peppercorns. We're just going to literally chuck that in. Now what I suggest you don't do is don't season your stock. Always season your soup afterwards, so don't put any salt in there. The reason for that is because obviously if you reduce it down, then the salt will really intensify and it might end up a bit too salty. So I end up putting about 2 litres worth of water in here. And literally all you're going to do is just fill it right the way up to the top so that it covers all the ingredients. And then we're going to put that on the boil. So while that's boiling away, it's going to take probably about 2-3 hours, that stock. What I'm going to do then is just get my chicken breasts and my thighs, put them onto a baking tray that's been lined with some foil just so that it doesn't stick to the tray. Again, like I say, I have taken the skin off here. You don't have to. You can leave the skin on if you want. But like I say, I think it just dries it out a little bit for me so that when you shred it later, it shreds a bit better, in my opinion anyway. So give that a good season with some salt and some pepper. And we're going to chuck those into an oven about 180 degrees Celsius, probably takes about 30 minutes or so, but just cook it so that the internal temperature is 75 degrees Celsius for chicken. While that's cooking away, you can see this beautiful stock. It's had about an hour and a half to 2 hours at this point, and the flavour in there is so delicious. If you do end up with a little scum on top, don't worry, just scrape that off. So now for our chicken. So I did this while it was still hot, which is, you know, not always good if you don't want to burn your fingers, but you could just let your chicken cool down a little bit. And all you're going to do is just get 2 forks and we're just going to shred it. You can cut this into pieces if you like, you don't have to shred it, I just prefer it shredded. And that's your end result. So I've used the white meat and the dark meat there. You can just use one or the other if you like. So now what we need to do is strain the stock. So just to show you, I mean, look at the colour of that, it's absolutely delicious. Like I say, you could use this stock in so many recipes. It's brilliant for making gravies, it's absolutely delicious. It's literally liquid gold. So like I say, all you're going to do is pass that through a sieve. So now what we're going to do is get on with making the soup. So into the same pan, obviously now that I've taken the stock out, I've got 1 large onion, 2 carrots and 2 sticks of celery, all finely chopped. Try and keep them the same size. And we're just going to sweat those off for a little bit, because we just want to make them just soften a little bit. And then after a while we're going to add some of our stock. I had about 1.5 litres I think. I didn't add all the stock, but you know, just stick some in the freezer, like I say, it will last. You're going to bring that up to the boil, and obviously the whole idea here is to soften all the vegetables. Now I add in about 3 to 4 handfuls of some pasta shells. Now like I say, if you wanted to use the pasta, you basically use whichever pasta you want, but if you wanted to use noodles you can do. The only reason I don't use noodles is because I want to get it, you know, really nice on the spoon when you put it in your mouth. Give it a good season. All you're going to do is just cook that until the pasta has just gone al dente. And then you want to chuck all your chicken in, and that is literally as easy as that. So that's my chicken noodle-ish soup. Like I say, it's not chicken noodle soup, it's a chicken pasta soup, but again, if you wanted to use noodles, you absolutely could. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel to become part of the family, and I'll see you guys in my next recipe.